Hi students, welcome again. This is the second part of the module. The name of the chapter is Land, Soil, Water, Natural Resources and Wildlife. In this particular module, we will complete soil as a resource and we will try to do water resource also. The first, soil as a resource. What is soil? Basically, the thin layer of grainy substance covering the surface of the earth is known as soil. Soil is made up of different organic matters, minerals, weathered rocks found on the earth. Already knows that there is a parent rock and the process of weathering becomes the reason for the soil formation. The right mix of the minerals and organic matters makes a soil fertile. Yes, everybody wants to live on the area, in those areas where the soil is fertile and we can do agricultural activities. So what are the different factors for the soil formation? Yes, major factors are the nature of parent rock, what kind of climatic conditions you are having, climate, and topography and the time. Time is most important. These are the factors responsible for the soil formation. Now, soil degradation causes and consequences. Basically, how the soil got degraded. We call it generally in our geographical term soil erosion. The denudation of the upper topmost layer of the earth is known as soil erosion basically. The soil erosion and depletion are major threats to the soil as resource. Yes, what are the factors leading to this soil degradation? Deforestation is first reason. We are cutting down the forest recklessly without knowing the consequences of that. The deforestation is major reason for the soil degradation. Overgrazing. From the very early period of the time we started grazing our animals, but we don't bother that we are grazing our animals on a same land again and again. So this needs to be stopped so that land land can get some time to develop more things. So overgrazing is the second reason. Third reason which we people are at presently using, overuse of chemical fertilizers or pesticides in our agricultural farms. Students, you will see yes, the farmers to increase the productions are just using chemicals, fertilizers, pesticides, and definitely the amount of these chemicals is too high and it results in the soil depletion. Rain wash, definitely when there are rainfall, then soil can be washed. Landslides and floods, these are sometimes these things happens, but these are also the factors for soil degradation. Now what can be done for the soil conservation? Few factors are mentioned in our book: mulching, counter barriers, rock dams, terrace farming, counter plugging, and shelter beds. Let's study them one by one. First factor of soil conservation is mulching, students. What is mulching? Basically, the uncovered ground between the plants is covered with a layer of organic matter like straw. So we need to cover the uncovered ground so that the soil can retain the moisture inside it. It can protect the harmful sun rays directly coming on the soil and the moisture can be protected. Second one is counter barriers. Stones, grass, soil are used to build barriers along the counters. Trenches, channels are made in front of the barriers to collect the water. Yes. Now, rock dams. Rock dams are built up to slow down the flow of water. This prevents gullies and further soil loss. These are the structures. Gullies is a structure which can be caused due to the heavy flow of the water, and the soil is degraded. Land degradation happens because of the physical factors like rainfall. So rock dams can help them in that situation. Terrace farming, basically it is done on the mountainous regions. Terraces are developed on the steep slopes so that flat surface are available to grow crops. Basically in the mountainous regions, with the help of technology or with the help of human efforts, we try to make a terrace like structure so that we can have some plain area in the mountainous regions, and we can be able to do agricultural activities. And it also reduce the surface runoff, means the water that can come from upper side, it will just need some time. At least if we have a terrace like structure, then we can control the soil erosion in the mountainous regions. Basically counter plowing is also very important reason. What is this? Plowing parallels to the counters of the hill slope to form a natural barriers. Many a time we have seen that soil erosion in the mountainous regions, basically if we are doing the wrong methods of plowing, it becomes cause for the soil degradation. We need to do the plowing activities parallel to the counters so that water flow can be reduced. It will just work as a natural barrier on the slopes. And shelter belts at the last. Students, we have seen whenever we are going anywhere, and if we see far away from our car or in the bus or whatever vehicle we people are, so we will see that there are you know lots of trees in the same line. Yes, so that same lining of the trees are basically known as shelter belts. And in the coastal and dry regions, this is found basically rows of the trees. Why these are just planted? To check the wind movement, to protect the soil cover. Yes, when the heavy winds are blowing, then in that situation these rows of the trees try to stop the pace of the air. And we can also protect the agricultural fields with the help of these rows of the trees. And definitely in the coastal regions also, we try to have the minimum damage through these areas. Water as a resource, definitely we have seen water is most important resource in our life. Without water we cannot survive. So let's see a few facts about water. 3/4 of the earth's surface is covered with water. This is why the earth is known as water planet. But we do know the fact that the fresh water is only about 2.7%, and it's also maximum part of majority of the water of fresh water is found in the oceanic bodies and is saline in nature. 70% of water occurs as ice sheets and glaciers in Antarctica, Greenland, and mountains. Means almost 97% water which we were having earlier, that is found in the oceanic region and is saline, and it is not usable by us. The remaining fresh water which is available for us, it's also found in the fields of, in the form of ice sheets. So we don't have enough fresh water to drink. Only 1% of fresh water is available, that is fit for the human use. And that can be found in the rivers, lakes, ponds, and underground water. So we need to save water. This is the need of the time. Now, what are the different uses of water? We can see here we can use the water in drinking, washing hands, brushing, bath, cooking. These are the things. But apart from these, we can do agricultural activities with the help of water. We can do industrial activities. Yes, this is more important because most of the industries are there which require water for them. So, and generating electricity through reservoirs of dams are some of the other uses. So water is very essential part of us. Also, as a student of science also, आप लोग जानते ही होंगे कि our body is having around 70% of water. So consume lots of water during the day on, in a short gaps. But yes, water is essential for us. Now, future of water and problems associated with water. Basically, we do know the fact that water is not available to us right now. The following factors will lead to drying up of water sources and water pollution. The factors that will lead to the water pollution and scarcity of water. Number one factor is given here is increasing population. Yes, the population is increasing, the demand for consumption of the water is increasing day by day, but the sources are very limited. Because of this, the water will be lessly available in the future. Rising demand for food and cash crops. Yes, the more will be the population will be increased, the more will be the demand for food and cash crops will be there. And definitely to satisfy agricultural activities, we need more water. Increasing urbanization. Students in urban areas, the consumption of the resources is very high. And nowadays, urbanization process is going on. Urbanization means what? That apart from agricultural activities, we are settling down ourselves in the urban areas, doing other activities than agriculture. So all these activities, industrialization is increasing. So all these things requires high amount of water. Rising standard of living of the people is increased. So it also requires more water. What are the problems? Basically, you can see the whole world is facing this problem. Water scarcity is there, and it will be the major problem in the future if we will not use the water resources carefully. The areas you can see here, that Africa, West Asia, South Asia, parts of Western USA, Northwest Mexico, parts of South America, and entire Australia are facing acute water shortage. So these are the problems. We need to work on these. Otherwise, water will not be available to us. Let's see, students. Water is everything. But how can we conserve the water resources? Quickly, I just want to tell you major contaminants, discharge of untreated or partially sewage agricultural chemicals and industrial effluents in water bodies. We should stop doing this. We should stop, discharging the untreated water. Water should be used by us few times at least. If we can use the water twice or thrice by cleaning it or by some methods, by growing more and more plants for as forest and other vegetation, it also slow the surface runoff. Water harvesting can be done to save the surface runoff. The channels should be properly linked to minimize losses by water. Sprinkler farming can be used. So by these means we can conserve some water, and at our homes also we can do at our level by turning the taps off. So students, in this video we will do up to this only. In the next slide we will study the natural vegetation and wildlife. Understand the concept properly, and if you have any queries then you can just leave comments. Thank you.